entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. You are entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C.
Welcome to the conversation.
Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to another edition of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. I am Dr. C. I'm hoping that everybody is doing wonderfully well and that you're staying hydrated because we are extremely hot. It's been hot. I don't know about you, but in North Carolina, it has been extremely hot. So I'm hoping that everybody is staying safe, hydrated, and are doing well. It's Thursday. And we're here again with Creative Conversations with Dr. C. Today's conversation, actually, guys, is our last conversation in regards to the Love Letter Talks. And I'm hoping that those who have tuned in over the last 2 months have enjoyed these conversations with these beautiful authors. Tonight is no exception. We have a beautiful, beautiful young lady who is going to be coming on shortly to speak about her letter. Her name is Miss Ta'Jah Cloyd. I had the opportunity to meet her briefly, so we're going to get to know her tonight together. I'm excited about her conversation and about her love letter and her reasons behind wanting to take on this project. But I always say thank you to those authors who have put pen to paper, and that's to include Miss Ta'Jah. So without further ado, I am going to bring her on so she can tell us a little bit about herself and her reasons for her letter. Well, hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am great. I was just telling the audience that this is our last love letter talks tonight. I am so grateful. Like I said, I'm grateful for all of the authors that have participated. And so you are the last of the authors in this book. So I am so excited to really talk to you. I have not had the opportunity to talk to you. I talked to you a little bit briefly, but not really on the level of your reasons for why you took on this project and your reasons behind your letter. So I told the audience that we're going to be able to get to know you together tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to give it over to you so you can tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll start talking about the project and your reasons why you took on this project, and then your letter.
Okay. So my name is Ta'Jah. I'm 28. I do like to reference myself as a writer or a spokesperson for my community, of course. I started writing when I was about 8 years old. I have like millions of journals. So when I was presented with this opportunity, I was a little hesitant to take it on because I am somebody who's very personal about my work, about my vulnerability, about my emotions. But I felt like God was pushing me to step into a new phase, to allow my voice to be heard, and hopefully somebody else could resonate with it.
And that is what we want to do. This is why I created the Love Letter Chronicles, because many of the previous authors, a lot of them had never put pen to paper. They've never been considered an author. And so being able to have the platform to be able to do it, to be able to put pen to paper, to allow themselves to be vulnerable in the state of like, well, what is people going to say? But really, it's not really about what people are going to say. How do you feel after you've done it? And
Right.
so that's the part that we have to remember, that we're trying. I always tell people we try to save somebody because somebody else has gone through the same exact thing that you have gone through. And so we want to make sure that there's a platform for people to be heard and that your voice is heard in your own authentic way. So thank you for taking down the guard and allowing God to speak to you and say, you know, this is a safe space. This has always been a safe space for all the authors. And always, like I said, I always want to keep the authenticity to your work because it's your work. We leave legacy in writing. So, with that being said, I know I sent this invitation to Andre, and I know they call him something else.
Suave, suave the
Suave.
poet.
Yes, Suave was in the Suave. Look, I'm old school. So he was in the last one. So when he said to me, "Is it all right if I gift this to someone else?" Absolutely, absolutely. Whoever you want to gift it to, please gift it to him. So I'm grateful that he thought enough to say, well, you know, I have a lot of stuff on my plate, but I'm going to give it to somebody else. And when I had the opportunity to read everybody's um letters, and every time I read them, I find something, I pull something out of every one of them, every different time, time I read them. So for you, being able to put this on paper, first off, what did that mean to you as an author? Because you say you're an author. What did that mean to you when you said, I'm going to do this, and then you got the book and was able to read it?
I was actually very excited to see my work in a book because it's something that I want to pursue myself. So I was
Mhm.
like, you got to take the baby steps first.
Of course.
And I felt like it was healing within itself as well because it wasn't just me writing it down in my journals and then just never looking at it again. I
Hmm.
got to see it in a book, reread it, and then also be a part of it with other people and read their stories along with mine. And they resonated as well. So to be a part of something that's bigger than myself was
Hmm.
just, yeah, it was a different feeling.
Yeah. We kind of talked before we got on to the podcast, and I explained to you that this is the third book. So the first one for me was my therapy for me, being able to write a love letter to myself. And so I've always asked people, when I started this journey of doing these books, I would always ask people, have you ever wrote a love letter to yourself? And 95% of the people's like, no, love letter. And so I had to tell people that you have to love yourself first, foremost, before you can love anybody else. So taking the moment to be able to write a love letter to yourself and say, you know what, I love me. And it's okay to say I love me. If it's considered, oh, she just vain. No, how can I be able to love my children? How can I be able to love my partner, whatever that is, before I can love myself? So the first book for me was really a healing journey for me, and really being able to peel back the layers of who I was as an individual. As a woman, we wear so many hats, whether it be mom, wife, whatever that might be. We wear so many. So when I had the opportunity to dig deep, I realized I was just more than just that. I
Right.
had to really go back and really take the time to really dig deep and understand who I was. So when you decided to write this particular poem, what were you thinking, and why this one? I guess that would be why this particular poem.
So I was restarting my healing journey when I wrote this poem, actually. And I was diving into like childhood trauma because, you have to backdate to why, certain things are the way they are in your life or why you've chosen to be a certain way in your life. And that's where I was at. And I was doing a lot of unpacking and healing. And this just felt like the most raw version of me, like the
Mm.
honest version of myself that I could be with me.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, So I chose this, and I didn't even try to perfect it. I really just wrote it. I just wrote my feelings, and it came from a vulnerable place of like my inner child speaking to me. Like this is
Mm,
how I felt.
yeah.
And now I'm like, but I'm a woman now. I have my own kids. And I was like, if you just speak it and you let it go, that's healing within itself, and
Mhm.
you can move forward.
Right.
So I just packaged it all into one.
Yeah. And I remember sending out these before we the edited part of it. And I remember sending it to you and I said, "Hey, please review this. I want you to make sure because I want it to be just the way you want it because again, as I said before, we want to leave our legacy through writing. And so I want to make sure that I am correct. I'm dotting the right I's, crossing the right T's, doing whatever you need me to do because this is you. This is you. This is representation of you. So when you said nope, leave it like it is, I was like, okay. So it was like okay, and I'm okay with that because a lot of the authors um said the same thing because it's really coming from a part of you that's raw, really raw and uncut. And that's where people resonate with your story when they see the rawness of it, the realness of it, to say, you know what, that line right there, that hit me. Like I can feel where she was at when she wrote that piece. And that's the same feeling that I had when I wrote my first one. I had to go back, literally go back to where I felt like the trauma started for me. And
Mhm.
I had to unpack and repack and unpack and put some to the side and oh, let me look at it again. Oh, that didn't look right. Let me refold it up. And so when I got to the point where it says, you know what, it's clutter. It's okay, it's clutter right now. I can
Right.
see it all. It's out there. I can see it. It's my mess. Now, what do I need to do in order to move forward? And so, as we spoke previously, these love letters are something that you can go back and read, but also see the evolution in what you did this year and what if you write again next year, how much you have grown. And so I tell people, the people that were in the last book, I asked them, many of those who came back, I was like, where do you see the evolution at? Where do you see the growth at? And even if just this amount, just a small amount, you've made some steps. And so that's what these are for. These are journals in themselves. And I tell people I am a big push for mental health counseling. I push for it if it works for you, if you work with it. And so I tell people I am not a therapist, but I've gone to therapy. And so I'm not, I put my disclaimer in that, like, this is what I know, this is what I've gotten out of it. And so your spin on what you've gotten out of is what you're able to write in your own book. So for this, it's really allowing people to really be able to read other people's stories, but also start your journey of healing if that is just reading or writing. Um so you said there was trauma, you had to unpack the trauma and you were restarting the healing process. I tell people in these books everybody is in different areas in their journey, in their journey of healing. And so it's never like aha moments. All it's not always roses. You have moments where it triggers you and you're like, oh my God, like I'm back at the same place. So for you, you said that you had to unpack. Tell me what you unpacked in here. That for those people that are watching, what did you unpack and what did you learn from these writings after you finished it and you said, I'm going to give it to Dr. C and it's a done deal.
I think my biggest thing that I unpacked is how I grew up. So I didn't come from a very emotional household.
Mhm.
We didn't do the whole hugging, touching, I love you. That
Mhm.
was my main thing. But me being an adult now, like I wrote
Mhm.
it from my kid perspective. Like,
Mm,
wish I would have had these things. I wish these things would have been done more than maybe, I wouldn't have these cringy feelings when I do get touched, things
mhm,
like that.
mhm,
Also like sexual abuse and things
mhm,
of that nature.
mhm,
But like now in my adulthood, I see my mom as like human, well as
mm,
myself.
mhm,
And I see
mhm,
all of these as, just experiences and lessons that I had to grow from.
mhm, mhm. So it's an evolution of being able, and it's funny because I had a conversation with somebody not too long ago, and we were talking about, are we our parents?
Right.
You know, and have we really become our parents? You know how we I mean, I'm probably significantly older than you, but I am, because you say you're 27. um so I had this conversation with somebody that, not too long ago, and I was like, is it a bad thing that we become our parents, uh, or do we reinvent the wheel and make it better for the next generation?
Right.
And so it sounds like at some point, I think a lot of people don't realize that our parents are human too, and they don't come with manuscripts on
Right.
how to rear their children. They're learning, from their parents, and their parents were learning too. So I hear that. I've heard those same sentiments that you just said about not having the emotional attachment in growing up, and you don't know how to accept it when people want to say I love you, and you be like, what? Like, what you want from me? Like,
Right.
what do you want from me? Why are you telling me that? Or even saying I love you, that is foreign to a lot of people.
Mhm.
And I believe, not in this book, but the last book, somebody had mentioned the same thing. And even in this book, I believe the author is Phyllis Whitley, and it talks about I remember. And I'm like, wow, So from that standpoint, as a mother, uh, what pieces of this letter spoke to you as a mother other than as a child?
Um, I would have to say being more affectionate, and knowing that it is okay that I do feel this way sometimes, because I am still learning and I am still growing, and it's not something that I can change in a day.
Right.
So I have to allow myself grace as a mother, because it's not something
Mhm,
I grew up on.
mhm,
But
mhm,
my kids do teach me how to be more affectionate. I can tell you that.
mhm, mhm,
um,
of course.
so
Yep.
I'm just becoming more accepting of it and where
Mhm,
I'm at
mhm.
in my growth. I'm like, you're
Yeah.
not gonna have it all together in one day.
Who does? Who does? Nobody does, right? Nobody does. If that was the case, then give me that pill so I can take it, or give me that water that's got it. Let me take it, because even as a mother of grown children, I'm still learning as I go. I always tell people, if you stop learning, you're stagnant, you're not growing. And so being able to put yourself in a position where you say, I still got a lot more to go. That's a wonderful thing. That is a testament for you, because you haven't given up. You're like, I know there's something else out there that I need to do. So I want, if you have, it looks like you have the book in front of you. So I want you to read just a little of it, because I still want people to go out and get this book, because there's something in this book for everybody.
Yes,
So,
definitely.
okay. So I'll let you read just a little bit of it.
Okay, so I titled it Finding Power in the Glass Box. Traveling down this foggy road, performing the world's longest monologue. Caught up in life's illusions, distorted vision, the diagnosis for the problems in my sight. Prognosis, clouded judgment, lack of discernment, constant despair. And these clouds don't come with nines like the life path in God's original design. No purpose, no passion, loss and misfortune. Is this my reality?
So explain to the audience what that means to you.
Um, so basically I had reached a point, or the catalyst in my life, where I had no idea anymore. Like my whole being was just broken down,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no sense of direction. I felt like I was losing everything, even like just me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I could no longer see like my purpose, my goals, my ambitions. All I saw was just me being a mom, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
what I just knew. You know, I started being a mom at 20. So it's like I didn't get to really get to know myself
Mm-hmm.
before. Um so when I took a pause to really be in stillness, to reflect
Yeah.
on my life, I'm like, is this what it looks like? Is
Mm-hmm.
this the
Mm-hmm.
reality I have shaped? I have
Mm-hmm.
created. Um and I didn't like it.
Mm.
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
So
I like that. I mean,
yeah.
it's I always tell people I love doing these podcasts because it's just an enlightening moment for me when you said I did not like that. It was like, aha, there's pieces in all our lives that we wish we can go back and redo it, rewind the tape, put a period behind certain sentences, close the doors to certain things, unwrite the wrongs that we've done. It's a whole gamut of things that we sit back. But I always tell people, if we did not go through those things, would we be the same?
Right, exactly. You know, I don't regret anything.
Mm-hmm.
I do take everything as a lesson and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, turn it into a blessing. But
Of course. Of course. Of course. I like that.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, but there are some lessons that I could have prevented myself
There you go.
if I
There
would have
you
took
go.
pause. So I
Take
had to,
I like that. Pause, right? Take a pause. I love
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
do because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that again, leaving legacy for your children because now they can go back and say, you know what, my mommy is in this book. And she was talking a little bit about me in this book and how she's evolved. And now I can hug my mommy. And now my mommy feels secure in the knowing that I'm not taking anything from her. It's genuine love.
Right.
So this is what I want people to leave for the next generation. So people can't say, you know, you wrote this yourself. These are your words. This is you talking, not me, not anybody else. So being able to have that moment in time, and it's really a moment in time, to be able to capture all that and be able to say, you know what, when I was wrote this is where I'm at, but look where I'm at now. If you knew my story then and look where I'm at now, that's where we want to always try to strive for. Is it going to always happen overnight? Definitely not. But starting with the writing is, I say, therapeutic for all of us. Um, so you said you have millions of journals.
Yeah.
What's your next path? What do you want to do? Are you wanting to do more writing, more putting things out, more speaking engagements? What's on the path or what's on the horizon for you?
So coming soon. No.
Yeah, really coming soon.
I do want to dive into it's more on the life coach, but spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
a very spiritual being.
Mm-hmm.
So, but mine is more, since I am still healing, I want to heal as a community.
Okay.
You know, I don't believe in being the sole leader,
Yes.
but I do want to bring a community of people together and we share stories and we heal as a community.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that I'm striving for.
Yeah. And while we're in this climate right now of uncertainty and we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And so I've always said I'm not going to sit on my political box today. Um, but we, as a community, need to understand that we need to pull together, and your voice as a part of that community needs to be heard. So having voice to be able to be heard and pitch it out there to somebody that understands your walk, who's also walking with you, makes a big difference. So I always tell people my platform as an author, as a entrepreneur, as a publishing house company, this platform is not for me, it's for everybody else who voice needs to be heard. I've been blessed with the opportunity to be able to do these things, and I want other people to join that movement, because this is a movement. The Love Letter Chronicles is a movement. It's a movement of healing, whether people know it or not. Healing is formed in writing, and that's what the book says. It's healing through writing, and that's what we want to do. So joining that bandwagon of being just that person in the community who's bringing those people together is a wonderful thing. We need to do it more often, and not always think about self. It's me, 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 me. It's never should be that, because you lose the blessings and always thinking only of self.
Right.
Sometimes you have to be selfish when it comes to just self-preservation, but being able to spread the message of this healing, this journey of healing, this journey of loving ourselves, loving other people, and understanding that everybody um, don't have the same views as us, but doesn't mean that we can't still love you in the space that you're in. So um, as an author, as I said to the other authors previously, this is not my last go around. This is not my last book. I'm going to continue to do this as often as I can. And I'm extending this invitation to you for the next book. I want you to be able to go back and say, yup, let me show you how much I've evolved.
Right.
This,
I'm
this
gonna
is
say
what we want to see. We want to see your growth. And so when you come back and say, you know what, when I wrote this book back in 2025, this is where I'm at. But now this is where I'm at in 2026. I see the evolution in what I'm doing. I see that what I said on this podcast on June 26, 2025, about bringing the community together to start the healing process. And I'm not the sole person to do it. I need to bring people along. Then you can say, yep, this is what I said. And that's what we want to do. This is my platform to be able to allow people to be able to do that. So we said next steps is bringing a community together, but what I see in your walk is another book, a book for you, a book that talks about what you have seen and what you have done, because who will ever see those writings if it's wrote and you put it to the side in a box?
that,
People need.
and I'm working on that as well because I have some stories. I have some
We all have
stories.
stories. We
Right.
definitely all have stories.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I totally agree with that. We all have a story to tell. And again, those stories are should be heard for other people to understand again that this walk is not by themselves.
It's
And
not.
so um I was like, when I read your book, you and another author, this three authors decided to do it in a poem form. And so I love this part of it because it's really unique in the sense that it's spoken word, but it's so unique. And so when I always tell people, when I give the opportunity, write whatever you want, however you want to write it. So do you do a lot of poetry? Is all your writings just poetry?
No, no, no. It it really just starts off as thoughts and then it just I don't know, it forms into poetry.
Okay.
But I do resonate with poetry as well. I wouldn't consider myself a poet
Okay.
because it's more just free writing for me. But
Okay.
I do enjoy doing poetry as well.
So have you what other genre of writing do you like to do?
So I do the free writing, I do poetry. Those are my main two.
Okay. You know,
Those
I just feel like for you, I'm looking at you and I see more of a children's book for you for some reason. I feel
really.
that you're speaking because you said you're speaking from the child, the inner child in you. And I see this inner child in an illustration of you for some reason.
And I might have to ponder on that. I might, because a lot of my writing is from like an inner child perspective. I haven't even dived into this part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've been unpacking my inner child and getting to know her for a
Yeah.
while now. So it's like giving her a voice so I
Mm-hmm.
can step into my own.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what do you envision this journey of now being able to say you are a true author, you are a published author now? What do you foresee the future for you?
um I definitely want to be a part of more books.
Okay.
So I accept
Huh?
that invitation.
You got it. You got it.
And I would definitely like to put out my own story as well. I've
Mm-hmm.
actually been thinking about it, like, but I think I've been in my head a little too much about it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
where do I start? Do I start from the beginning? Do I start from now? And but that is definitely one I do want to continue writing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be putting my voice out there on stages,
Mm-hmm.
um, books, podcasts. I'm just thinking about it all, honestly. Just
The
being
world
in
is
my
your oyster.
element.
You have free reign to do whatever you like to do. And I always tell the authors, it's never you never really know where to start. You just start.
Yeah.
Just like you did with this letter, you just start. And so it's really uh you want to hone in where you want to start your story. But sometimes we just have to just dive in and just do it. And so when you dive in and just do it, then it's more authentic. And you know what I'm saying? And so it gives some credence to what the story is about. Hey Mark, how are you? So I definitely will say just jump into it. Just head on. Just
That's
do
what
it.
I've been trying to do. I'm like, you know what? Just do it. Don't just stop thinking so much, because then I keep myself in like stagnation then.
And you don't
I,
want to be stagnant.
I
You
don't.
definitely don't want to be stagnant. Well, I was just speaking to Mark. Mark is one of the authors in this book as well too. Mark is one of the other authors that did a poem as well too, and he was in the previous book. And he was saying hello. He was saying the hardest part of starting a writing journey is to begin, and that is so true. It's just the start. It's almost you got almost like say I'm going to jump off this ledge and I'm going to pull the cord for this parachute and I know I'm going to land safely, but it's just starting. And so I would agree with Mark. That's the hardest part. But when you start, it's like, oh my God, I got so much. You're unpacking so much at one time. It's almost like you are, I hate to say it, throwing up, like regurgitating. It's just all of it's right there. And then now you're looking like, I got a whole book. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's a wonderful feeling when you do it because now you're like, dang, I didn't even know I had that all in me. Just like those journals or those journals that you got packed up in a box somewhere in a closet, take them out and look at them. Take the time and look at them and see, because your story could be right there in those boxes. And so just doing that makes a difference. Mark, I met Mark a couple years ago, and he has a wonderful series of books, and he is amazing. So thank you, Mark, for always being supportive of these podcasts. But yeah, start. Just jump in and start. And when you look up, the book is done. It's like literally done. Mark,
Okay.
did you have any questions for Miss Ta'Jah? Wait till I don't know if you can see the comments up there, but um, they should populate. He was saying, from one poet to another, the best way to write is to take a moment to yourself, separate yourself from these worldly distractions.
You know what? I did that for a whole month. I did. Let me tell you, 30 days with myself, I did a lot of unpacking. I'm not a big crier, or at least I thought I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 30 days crying. I do mean 30 days straight. Um,
Wow.
that
Okay.
was, yeah, that was the most vulnerable and raw place I've ever been in my life.
Mm.
So that right there would probably be like the main base of my story is just refinding that emotional state for me because I feel like
Mm.
I'm numb to it my whole life. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna dive in it, Mark. Thank you. I'm gonna dive in. I promise.
Mm. I think, being able to, as you say, having the moment of clarity, I said clarity, having the moment of clarity for ourselves to be able to really take down the layers of all that. I would say makeup. Take the makeup off. Really see your natural beauty and being able to be vulnerable in the state that says, you know what, I'm not perfect. I don't know the answers to everything. I'm still learning this. I feel like I'm lost. I need some help. Being able to say all those things make a difference in how you perceive yourself. And crying is a good thing. It's cleaning your soul. It's allowing you to be pure for yourself so that your next journey won't be as hard, right? And so that's good. That's good therapy. That's something that you be like, ooh, I feel like it's exhausting after you do it for 30 days, as you said. You're like, oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah,
But
and
you
I
get a
was.
second win. You get the second win that's like, oh my God, I feel like amazing. I feel like I can take on the world. I feel like I have the tools, maybe not all of them, but I have a few of them in my tool belt that I can start using for myself to be able to navigate these waters that I had previously that I didn't have the knowledge of doing. So having the time to spend with yourself, having the time to really get to know yourself is amazing. Trust me, when I wrote my first book, I didn't know I had all of this in me. I was like, whoa, like, good gracious, like, this is me? Like, is this true? Like, am I writing this? Is this me? And it took me, and I'm still learning things at 54 years old. I'm still learning different avenues of me, the creative side of me. But it's okay to say, I don't know everything. I don't know certain things. And how do I get to the part where I'm able to really reach out? Because that was my biggest part, asking for help. I'm like, I'm too stubborn. I'm a Taurus. So that in itself tells a lot, right? But I was at a point in my life where I'm not going to ask you for anything, but I realized I cannot continue to walk this path without help,
I
you
had to
know?
remember that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
because I was feeling really alone those 30 days. But I felt like it
Yeah.
was very necessary for my soul, for my growth, because I needed to get rid of the outside opinions, the perspectives, the voices that were not mine.
Hmm.
Really hone in on myself. So
That was a mouthful, and that was, oh, that just hit home. Like, that really just hit me. Like, I got goosebumps when you said that. Sometimes we have to go on journeys that would allow us to have to deposit people where they need to be deposited.
mhm.
And it's almost like a train. The train is coming in to pick up the passengers. Well, here's your stop, and I need you to get off because this journey does not mean for you to be a part of it. And that's okay. I still love
Yes.
you. I do. But this journey that I'm going on, you're not a part of it. That was a part of a journey that I am now closing the chapter on. I'm writing a new chapter, and it's okay. Um, but that's where we want to be. We want to be at that moment where we feel like we are growing and we see the growth. That doesn't mean that, some people think that, oh, she's better than me. She thinks she's better than me. No, no, it's self-preservation. I love me enough to know that where I'm at right now is not where I need to be at.
Right.
So in this moment and this time, your growth is where you want to be at. And being able to look back at it. So Mark says, he says, I'm just leaving my workspace, so I'll be on the road, so I won't be able to type, but I'm still tuning in. Sometimes elevation requires separation. So true.
It
So
does.
true. So true.
Yeah.
I agree with you. So what are you working on now?
Right now I am working on a book.
Great! Yay!
I just came up, thank you. I just came up with the final logo. So in the
Okay.
name, which that's just gonna be the name of my mentoring or life coaching as well.
Mhm, mhm,
Um, but I am working on a book. And I said I did find some help. Because it was overwhelming to me to have to do it by myself.
mhm.
So I do feel like God placed a person in my life to help me because they're also an author.
Great,
He
great. Well,
does. He writes children books. So
there's the link. There's the link.
okay,
Okay.
yeah, I was like, okay, it's
Mhm,
resonating.
mhm,
And he was like, I have this person who can put it together for you. You just need to write.
mhm,
So he's like, I want you to get up every morning, take an hour to yourself, and just write. He was
mhm.
like, don't try to make it make sense. Just write. So I've
Just
been
right.
doing that.
Mm,
Um, and then I said I was going to reflect back on what I wrote this month
mhm.
at the end of the month and
Okay. So you
see.
got a few days.
Yeah.
A few
So,
days.
but
Still got a few days.
I've been very consistent and disciplined, taking that hour. It's the first thing
Mhm.
I do. I'll do like some meditation, some yoga, and then I'll go write for an hour.
Yes. He's asking, what genre book are you working on? Is it a poetry book?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I might say most of them are poems, but it's gonna include like affirmations in there as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that's my thing. My affirmations is all that's what I do. And in this book there's some affirmations in here too as well. I think we have to affirm who we are in order for us to understand where we're going and how we're going to proceed. So being able to get up every morning and say I love you even though you feel like crap, but I still love me. So affirming who we are makes a difference when we get up to start our day. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like I was starting a book and I just felt like it was so trauma felt. And
Mm,
that's not the story that I wanted to give. Like I wanted to be able to know my trauma for myself, but the story I want to give is the lessons that I learned from it.
okay. That's
How do you move forward and how do you grow from that?
How do you
Because I feel
grow?
like,
Exactly.
yeah, I feel like, we get stuck in reliving what has happened. And
Yes.
so I want to be on the other side of that. I want to show the other side of that and what that
Yeah.
looks like.
What that looks like. So for Mark, he was saying that his first two books were poetry and spiritual affirmation books. And I will tell you, Mark is an amazing writer, an amazing writer. And so if you had the opportunity to read his poem, it resonates in so many ways. Like all of the letters in the book, but he's an amazing writer. And I will say, taking that time for yourself to be able to write is also therapeutic. So, and I would agree, we shouldn't get stuck in reliving it over and over again. How do we move past it so that we can show somebody else that I've went through it and this is there's hope, there's light on
Mhm.
at the end of the tunnel. And so being able to see that, um, and the workings of it is so amazing. It's I can't even say it enough how much you are able to see and reflect on where you've been. Or as I always tell people, if people knew my story, they'll understand my joy. Because I'm telling you, life can throw some things at you, but it's really about, you're going to get knocked down, but it's really about how do you get back up and continue that journey, continue that walk. So I'm excited about your journey and about writing and about what that's going to look like. And I'm always here. If you ever need the just a listening ear as an author, as a publishing company, I'm here to provide that insight for you if you need that as well. It's always good to have different narratives and different platforms to be able to go to when you have different questions.
Right.
So
Appreciate that. I'm gonna
Oh,
say that.
anytime, anytime, anytime. So I guess my question to you is, are you able, um, outside of what you just wrote today, is there anything else that you can leave the audience so they can be like, oh, I can't wait till her book come out because I know what she wrote in here. Is there anything that you can pull from one of those books to just give us a little bit of snippet of something different than what we just read out of this book?
Oh.
Mhm.
um, just know. So when I dived into my healing, I went through, as Mark is a spiritual person, I went through spiritual psychosis.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna definitely touch on that and the whole breaking down of who I am and how that went. And also just give, I don't know if it's like the heed warning or just give a perspective on
Mhm.
how sometimes it is okay to take a pause in your healing.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
It
Yes.
is.
Oh yeah. I'll be one to say I'm raise my hand. Yes, it's okay. It's okay
It
because
is
sometimes
okay.
we have to be able to breathe. We feel like sometimes we just feel like somebody's sitting on our chest and we feel like we can't breathe. And so sometimes that all that deep down trauma takes so much out of you, and you have to take a pause to be able to breathe, because if you don't you're going to die, like literally die, from just trying to figure out which way to go. And so I agree, sometimes we do have to pause, and pause could be for an extensive time, like let me just pause for a bit, let me get myself together because yeah, this ain't working out for me, like let me just take a moment. And it's okay to take a breather. I think we all need to take that moment sometime to say, look, I'm gonna go over here to the Red Roof Inn. I'm gonna get me a room. I'm gonna lay out here for about 2, 3 days, get myself together. Then I'm gonna get back on it. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. It's okay to take that moment to yourselves, because as a mother, as a woman, we have so many things that we have to shoulder. But at the end of the day, we have to take time for ourselves. We have to. We have to. So I'm so excited. I'm really, really excited about this book. I'm ready to say, okay, tell me where I need to go sign up so when it drop, I can get it. But I really want to be able to bring you back when you drop that book, so that you can really see the evolution of where you are from here in 2025. When you drop that book, we can talk about that journey because I'm truly intrigued about what that's going to look like.
I'm hoping
Um,
to have it finished by the end of this year.
Great. Okay, so the new year, start a new year with a new book,
Yes.
a
Yeah.
new perspective. Okay, I'm loving that. I'm loving the journey that I see, and I have great hope for you, and I know that you are going to do it, and it's going to be amazing. So we're almost close to the end of this talk. So, what do you want to leave the audience? What do you want people to know or leave our audience with?
Let me see. One, I am very grateful for this opportunity. Definitely thankful for you
Oh, you're
and
welcome.
and Andre for passing on, gifting me the opportunity because it allowed me to step into a new space of, I want to say uncomfortability, but
Mhm.
that is how
Yeah,
you grow as well.
yeah,
You got to
I
get
agree.
uncomfortable sometimes.
Mhm. Well, just in this little bit of time that we've had the opportunity to talk, you have a beautiful spirit, and I can see it just speaking to you. I see the glow, and I see the potential in what you are going, the impact that you're going to have in the space that you're trying to create in your community. So people, when you see her name, know that she's got something that she's bringing to the table, which is going to be amazing. So I wish you nothing but success, as another sister to another sister to another woman to another mother. Much success to you. I see the horizon and it's opening up for you like no other. So I am so equally grateful for you taking on the journey, taking on the opportunity to put pen to paper. Again, this is not my last go around. This is not my last book. I'm going to keep on doing this as long as I have breath in my body, as long as God has given me the opportunity to um, have voices being heard on a different level. I'm going to continue to do that. He says, what is your Facebook and IG account? Because he wants to connect with you.
I don't have Facebook, but my Instagram is Light of Ta'Jah, and there's an underscore before that or after that. I really can't remember because I've been taking a break from social media.
Mhm.
But it's Light of Ta'Jah, and that's Tajah. So that is my name. And you speaking of my spirit, that's where I want to be. I want to be on the other side in the light, since I've unpacked all this darkness,
Mhm.
trauma, and I found the light in darkness, which I think darkness is still beautiful.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I think it's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing to be able to see yourself and in wholeness and fullness, because we're
Hmm.
not just light. So
That's
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 what I
so.
would like to leave with the audience. That it's okay to be your authentic full self.
I like that. Your authentic, full self. She didn't say half, y'all. She said full self, which is amazing. Sometimes we do have to come to the table, but when we leave, we're full, and that's the beauty of it all. We want to be able to spread the wealth and the knowledge. So. Again, he said he's going to try to find you on IG. But Mark, his name, what is, are you Black Cyrano on Facebook, IG, Mark? I can't remember. I think he's on Facebook under his name. I'm not for sure for IG. But he says Mark underscore Bojajor. I always mess up his last name. He know I love him. But it's his name, so it's underscore in between his first and last name. So again, before I leave, I just want to say again, thank you for coming on the platform and sharing your story and being in an uncomfortable space. So sometimes we have to be in uncomfortable spaces to be able to see the bravery we have within ourselves. So
Yeah.
thank you for taking on this opportunity to talk to me tonight. As always, before we get off this line, please like, share on my YouTube page, which is Dr. C on YouTube. Please make sure you go out and listen to these conversations. These are amazing conversations. But before I leave, I always tell people, please make sure you check on those people that are not strong, because our strong people do need to be checked on. We want to make sure that they know that they are loved, that they are engaged in conversations, to be able to spread messages to them, to let them know that this climate that we're in, we're not going to always be in it, but standing together, strong together, will make a difference. So I thank you for taking the time out to sit and talk and listen to the conversation tonight. This is not the last conversation that we're going to have. We're going to have many more. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. Again, thank you, Ms. Ta'Jah, for joining me tonight. And again, the invitation is out there for anybody who's wanting to write their love letter. I will be doing another one probably start looking for authors at the end of this year. I try to do it in a year in advance. So we'll be looking for another one to drop in May of 2026. So if you know anybody, Ta'Jah, who is a thriving author who wants to put pen to paper, please push them my way. They will have a platform to be able to do that. But without further ado, I want to tell you guys, I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. It is
Yes.
hot out here. Hot. Stay hydrated. And again, please check on our vulnerable people out here, because we're still in COVID season. We have people who still have the mindset they're there by themselves. So just pick up the phone and say hi, or even go by to tell them I love you. And without further ado, we're going to close this conversation for tonight. But again, never the end. And until next time, I am Dr. C with Creative Conversations. Have a good night, guys.
And see you guys.
Bye.